Hello viewers! It is important to catch the rain where it falls and when it falls because water is life. Let's learn more about water. Shall we? Look at this beautiful picture of our earth. What words come to your mind when you see this picture? As far as we know, Earth is the only planet that supports life. This is because of the presence of water. That's why it is also known as Blue Planet. Our planet looks blue as nearly 3/4 of the Earth's surface is covered by water. So, where all the water comes from? Water on Earth continuously circulates from the ocean to the atmosphere to the land and back to the ocean. This never-ending movement from one stage to another is known as hydrological or water cycle. Where do we find water on Earth? Most water on Earth is found in oceans and it's salty. Only 3.5% of total water is the fresh water. Out of this, 2% of the fresh water is locked in ice caps and the remaining is stored underground as groundwater. Only 0.3% of the fresh water is found in rivers, ponds and lakes. And this is how water is distributed on Earth, where fresh water available for use is less than 1%. To understand this better, let's do a simple demonstration. You can do this in the classroom with your students as well. All you need is a mug, bucket, and 12 spoons. To visualize how much fresh water Earth actually has, let's first assume that the total available water on Earth is around 2 liters. Take this 2 liters of water in a bucket using a mug. From this bucket, take out 12 spoons of water. These 12 spoons represent the total fresh water available on Earth. Now, let us take out 9 spoons from it. This represents water found in ice caps. Now, we have only 3 spoons remaining. Now, let us take out 2 spoons which represents groundwater. Please remember that we can only take a limited amount from this. Now we have only 1 spoon of water left. Now take half a spoon of water from it, which is present in freshwater lakes. Let's take a drop of water from this, which we find in rivers. So nearly 1.5 spoon of water that is found in lakes, ponds, rivers and under the ground is the total usable fresh water that we have on Earth. Is this amount of water for all? Yes, 780 crore people depend on this 1% of fresh water. Also, let's not forget living beings include plants, animals and other beings. Water is important for survival of all of them. We all know that water plays an important role in our daily life. But is that all? Does water play an important role in other areas too? Let's see. Human health and well-being. Yes, as humans, we need water to survive and for the proper functioning of all organs in our body. From electricity production to agriculture, virtually all sectors of the economy rely on water. Water is required to support biodiversity, which supports water, and nutrient cycling in soils and therefore plants, including all food crops which humans depend on. Water is closely connected to our culture and traditions. Certain traditional practices help us conserve water, cope and adapt to extreme water conditions. Thus, fresh water is a vital and finite resource with multiple roles. Hence, it is absolutely necessary to conserve water for our present needs and the future survival of all species on Earth. Now that we have seen the multidimensional role of water, let's specifically look at how water is used in India. Did you know that of all the fresh water available in India, 91% is used for agriculture practices and 7% of water is used daily for washing, bathing, cooking? The remaining 2% is used in industries for production and transportation. Now that we know how water is used in India, let's see how our lifestyle choices are connected to daily water consumption. There are two ways in which we use water. One, which is invisible, and the other is visible. Invisible water use is also known as a water footprint. This tells us how much water is actually used to produce food we eat and all the products that we use, even if we don't use this water directly. For example, think of the phone we are using. It takes up to 900 liters of water to produce one mobile phone, according to waterfootprint.org. Did you know that our daily or visible use of water is around 135 liters per day? But adding invisible water use, it sums up to a whopping 3,800 liters per day. Can you believe this? Each one of us uses this large quantity of water per day. Then don't you think we need to be mindful of choices that we make so that there is water for the future? Let's look at some of our daily practices through these pictures. Leaving the taps open while brushing or washing, not fixing leaky taps, playing with water and using hose to clean our vehicles instead of a bucket. Have we not done any of this? I am sure we have all done it and maybe still continue to do it. We have just learnt that our daily water use is 3,800 liters per day, and this does not include the water that we waste. Now can you imagine what will be our water footprint? Can we as individuals think of other such practices and change them for good? Let's look at our daily water use. We use water to drink, cook, and for several hygiene and sanitation purposes. You can conduct a simple water audit to find out how much water you use every day. Using a bucket and a mug, you can estimate the amount of water used for each of these practices. You know that the average use is about 135 liters. Where does your estimate fall? This is another activity you can do with your students or trainees. By now, we can guess to some extent why there is water crisis. But let's look at it in detail. We often say water is a renewable resource, which means there should always be more supply or availability. If that is true, then why is there a problem? We are taking out water at a much faster rate compared to its recharge through the natural hydrological cycle, which leads to increased groundwater depletion. Many existing water sources like ponds, rivers, and lakes are polluted by garbage dumping or sewage water. Water under the ground can be contaminated too by practices such as not using toilets or open defecation. Climate change has led to more damages like coastal flooding, drought, and changes in weather patterns. Ice is melting faster, which is causing sea levels to rise and flash flooding to happen. This further enhances water crisis by increasing water stress experienced by different communities. What is water stress? Water stress occurs when the demand of water exceeds the available amount during a certain period, or when poor quality of water restricts its use. As a country, do you know how much water stress we face? 60 crore people face high to extreme water stress in India. India is ranked among 17 most water-stressed countries in the world. According to UNICEF, globally, nearly 600 crore children will live in areas with extremely limited water resources by 2040. Now we know the extent of water stress our country is facing. What can we do to reduce this water stress? There are many challenges, but we can at least start by taking action where we can, as individuals and as communities. We can start with protecting existing water sources by not polluting them. We can adopt sustainable use of water by following the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. A very important and easy way to learn and adopt scientific conservation measures like rational use of groundwater, renovation of traditional water sources, and increasing forest cover. It is important to learn from the traditional knowledge of collecting, storing, and saving water. Also, let us all remember to be water wise and use it very cautiously.